Right now, somewhere in your body, something is quietly changing, and it could be the difference between vibrant health or a painful wake up call. That hidden change? It's your prostate. By the time you hit 60, there's nearly a 50% chance your prostate is already enlarged. And worse, you won't feel it until it's too late. What if I told you your bathroom habits, your energy levels, even your nightly sleep are all being hijacked by one walnut sized gland? But that's not even the part most men should fear. Because this slow, silent change can creep in without a single symptom until suddenly your nights are ruined by constant trips to the bathroom, your libido is nowhere to be found, and your confidence? Gone. Let's talk about what's really at stake. An enlarged prostate, also called BPH, might sound like just a minor inconvenience, but it can lead to serious problems: pee stream issues, infections, total urinary blockages, and worst of all, it can mask or mimic early signs of prostate cancer. And here's the kicker: this isn't just about your prostate. As testosterone naturally dips with age, something more aggressive called DHT starts to show up in bigger amounts. DHT acts like testosterone's hyperactive cousin, super strong, but chaotic, and when it builds up in the prostate, things start getting out of hand. Add years of silent inflammation, a softening pelvic floor, and hormonal confusion, and you've got a perfect storm that can wreck your energy, your mood, even your performance in the bedroom. But the real danger isn't what happens to the prostate, it's how long men wait before taking action. Because here's a disturbing truth: most men ignore the warning signs. They shrug it off as just getting older. But what they're really doing? They're handing the driver's seat over to something that doesn't care how healthy you look on the outside. In a study most men haven't heard of, researchers found one food that actually shrinks the prostate, naturally. And one harmless looking daily routine? It's secretly increasing your risk. We'll get to that soon. But first, let's break down what's really happening inside your body after 60. When you hit your 60s, your hormone balance does something strange. Instead of just testosterone going down, something else starts creeping up: estrogen. That's right. The same hormone associated with women actually rises in older men. Why? Because as testosterone drops, the body tries to convert some of what's left into estrogen. This sets up a hormonal cocktail that the prostate doesn't like. Estrogen fuels tissue sensitivity. DHT then inflames it. And under stress, this process speeds up, leading to enlargement, pain, and all those frustrating symptoms. Let me tell you about a man named Richard. He was 63, retired early, and living what should have been his best years. But he felt tired all the time, constantly interrupted by bathroom trips at night, and was starting to disconnect from his wife both physically and emotionally. He thought it was just age. But after adjusting his meals, managing stress, and balancing those sneaky hormones, his symptoms improved dramatically. But he didn't do it with medication. It started with something shocking in his kitchen: tomatoes. Yep, cooked tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant shown to reduce prostate swelling and improve urinary symptoms. Not raw, cooked. Add some olive oil? Even better absorption. He also added more cruciferous veggies like broccoli and Brussels sprouts. These act like natural detoxifiers, flushing out excess estrogen and hormonal waste. But here's the twist: he also cut back on red meat, especially the hyper-processed kind. Turns out, heavy meat intake and hormone-filled dairy can add fuel to the BPH fire. One study showed that men who regularly ate just 2 servings of cruciferous vegetables per day had significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer. But food is only one side of the equation. The real root may lie in what you're not doing. There's a muscle group that most men forget even exists, but it could be the missing link to regaining urinary control and sexual function. It's your pelvic floor. Strengthening it can make a world of difference. Ever heard of Kegel exercises? They're not just for women. A strong pelvic floor means better control, fewer accidents, and stronger performance. Just 3 minutes a day squeezing and releasing those inner muscles can reduce how often you wake up at night, and the embarrassing leaks, and even enhance blood flow where it counts. There's Bill, a 67-year-old former truck driver who hadn't slept through the night in over 5 years. He started doing Kegels while brushing his teeth. Simple habit, massive impact. And what made the biggest difference wasn't just the exercise, it was when he did it. Doing pelvic work in the morning, when hormone levels are naturally higher, kickstarts the body's rhythm for the day. It sets the tone, and over time, it retrains your internal system. Speaking of rhythm, let's talk about sleep. Most men think of sleep as rest, but it's way more. Sleep is when your body heals. When you miss it, cortisol, the stress hormone, rises. And guess what cortisol does? It inflames your system, reduces testosterone, and tightens everything you want to relax, including your bladder. Melatonin, the sleep hormone, actually has protective effects on the prostate. It's not just about falling asleep faster. It's about triggering hormonal pathways that calm inflammation and regulate growth. If you're scrolling your phone before bed, sleeping with the TV on, or snacking late into the night, yeah, that's quietly draining your health. But the daily habit most men do right before bed, it's sabotaging their sleep and their prostate. And here's another one, dehydration. We get it. You want to avoid late night trips to the bathroom, so you stop drinking water in the evening. Makes sense, right? But actually, it backfires. When you don't hydrate properly, your urine becomes more concentrated, your bladder gets irritated, and inflammation rises. This results in more urgency, not less. The fix? Hydrate early and often, but taper off after 6 p.m. And here's a trick. Add a pinch of sea salt or a squeeze of lemon to your water in the morning. This helps with absorption and electrolyte balance, priming your system without flooding it later on. But what you add to your water could be as important as when you drink it. Believe me, your prostate is paying attention to everything you do. And while it may seem like these issues creep up overnight, they don't. They build slowly, silently, until one day it hits you like a freight train. But if you know how to listen to the right signals, make a few crucial adjustments, and stay ahead of the curve, your 60s and beyond can be some of your strongest, healthiest years. The shocking part is still coming. What if we told you most of what your prostate experiences isn't about age, it's about behavior? And the next insight might just be the most surprising of all, because it's hiding in your living room, staring you in the face all day. You won't believe what happens next. Think about it. You wake up, grab the remote, sink into your favorite chair, and lose track of time. Hours drift by. News, sports, reruns, maybe a nap after lunch. And from the outside, it seems innocent enough. You're relaxing, taking it easy. But here's what nobody tells you. That stillness? That long, slow, motionless sitting, it's one of the sneakiest threats to your prostate health. See, when you stay seated for hours on end, blood flows down in your lower body. That includes the area around your pelvis, your bladder, and yes, your prostate. Imagine a stream where the water stops flowing. What happens? Things stagnate. Inflammation brews. Pressure builds. That's basically what happens inside your lower body when you stay parked for too long, especially in recliners or chairs with poor support. And here's the truly alarming part. The more time you spend like this daily, the more you increase your risk for not just prostate issues, but a host of other time bomb conditions. Poor circulation, insulin resistance, and guess what? Higher DHT accumulation where you least want it. But wait, that's not the whole story. There's something even more surprising about what happens internally while you sit. Researchers discovered that sitting too long reduces the contraction of key pelvic muscles, the same ones we just talked about. That means even if you're doing those Kegels once a day, you might be undoing all your progress by being too still for too long. So what's the fix? You don't need to run marathons. You just need movement. Gentle, consistent, and throughout the day. Try standing or walking for 5 minutes every hour. Set an alarm on your phone if you have to. Heck, pace during calls. March in place during commercials. Do bodyweight squats while waiting for your coffee to brew. This is the kind of movement that not only gets your blood flowing to the right places, but reminds your body that you're still in the game. And listen, it's not just about muscle and blood flow. It's about momentum. Once you take control of your habits, something amazing happens. You start feeling more alive, more in control, like your body is finally cooperating with your goals again. And that feeling? It's addictive. Ask anyone who's made a few tweaks, started eating smarter, moving more, sleeping better, and they'll tell you, it's like flipping a switch. Suddenly, you're not surviving your 60s, you're thriving in them. But there's still one final piece to this puzzle, one that almost no doctor talks about. It's a completely natural compound found in an everyday ingredient. And get this, it's been clinically shown to shrink the prostate. Most men ignore it. Most drug companies can't patent it. But for the men who discover it like Ted, a 71-year-old Army veteran, it's a game changer. Ted wrote in saying he was waking up 5, sometimes 6 times a night. His wife was sleeping in another room. His confidence was gone. Nothing his doctor gave him helped for long. One pill after another, each promising more than it delivered. Then, almost by accident, he stumbled on this one little-known solution. A natural extract he added to his routine, tucked into his morning smoothie. And 2 weeks later, down to waking up only once a night. Within a month, solid sleep, stronger stream, even sparked a conversation with his wife he hadn't dared have in years. The extract? It's saw palmetto. But not just any saw palmetto. The key was taking a version that was lipid-based, meaning it's absorbed better by the body and goes exactly where it needs to. Most supermarket brands don't use this form. That's why men say it didn't work, because it wasn't the real deal. Combined with zinc, pumpkin seed oil, and a specific kind of nettle root, the results were nothing short of astonishing. And no, we're not selling it to you now. We're just telling you what worked for the men who finally said enough and took their prostate health seriously. But remember, no one solution works alone. Ted didn't just rely on the supplement. He moved more, cleaned up his meals, prioritized sleep, and most importantly, he stopped ignoring the signals his body was sending him. Because that's the real secret. Your body whispers long before it screams. The fatigue, the urgency, the slow confidence leaks you don't talk about with anyone. That's your signal. That's your chance to act before it becomes something far more serious. Now, we promised you something earlier, something every man should hear before he makes one more, totally normal, trip to the bathroom. Here it is. The very routine you think is helping you might be making things worse. Many men push to completely empty their bladder every time they pee. They strain. They push harder than they should. It feels logical, right? But here's the shocker: the straining increases pressure on the prostate. It actually leads to more swelling and long-term irritation. The exact opposite of what you want. The better way? Relax. Sit down when you urinate, even if you've never done that before. Lean forward slightly. Breathe. Let gravity and your muscles do the work. You'll be amazed how much more completely and calmly your bladder empties. And over time, less strain, more control, less swelling. It's the kind of tip that sounds too simple to change a life, but for many men it has. So where does that leave us? Everything matters. Every small choice adds up. The way you move, sit, eat, hydrate, sleep, breathe. It all sends signals, either healing ones or harmful ones. But there's one more powerful piece we haven't touched yet. And it's the key to unlocking long-term prostate health and natural hormone balance. That piece? It has nothing to do with food or supplements at all. In fact, it has more to do with mindset than medicine. We'll reveal exactly what it is and how to activate it in our next video. But here's a hint. It's something you were born with. Most men lose touch with it after 40. But once you reconnect with it, everything changes. Curious? Then make sure you don't miss what's coming next. Because the next video may just open your eyes to something far bigger than prostate health. It could reignite your entire sense of vitality. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and no matter what, never ever ignore the signs your body is quietly sending you. You've got more control than you think. And your best years? They might still be ahead of you.